Hey everyone, Mark here, and today I am going to try and print with a flexible film on a t-shirt or fabric material. This will be the first go at printing on a t-shirt that I want to wear around, throw in the wash, and just see how flexible it is. I'll be using TPU filament. It's a flexible material that can heat up a bit and adhere to fabric quite easily. It's probably nowhere comparable to the vinyl that you see pressed on shirts and fabric, but I thought it would be a cool way to just customize a t-shirt for a few times of use. Where I think this is really of use is for hats and printing logos on hats. So for hats, I don't know if I can print directly on the hat itself because you need a very flat bed for printing on with a 3D printer, but you could print on, say, a patch and then Velcro a patch onto your hat, or even sew it on if you wanted to. The one thing you want to make sure of is that surface that you're printing on is actually as flat as it can be. You might have to add a little extra clips. The biggest thing is that this is all a moving bed, moving parts, that you want to keep your material out of the travel and the belts, and so this is where it gets a little tricky, and you might have to watch and kind of hold the t-shirt or whatever material out of the way if your material is bigger than the bed. For a patch, you could just put the patch on the bed. That's kind of the main concern I have with trying to do this, is just keeping everything out of the way so that everything can move freely. The other thing is you will have to apply an offset. Your normal bed height is going to be raised a little bit for the surface that you're printing on because of the fabric material. Then in this case as well, you don't have to heat the bed. Normal TPU, you would heat the bed, so normal settings, you would heat the bed to say 60 degrees, 70 degrees. In this case, I'm not heating the bed because I only want adhesion to the fabric, so we're going to leave it up to the heated material to adhere to the fabric itself. And we want it to cool right away. I know on the Ender 3, if you're using the Cura software, it does a wipe along the edge to clean off the extruder head, and in this case you don't want that wipe to happen. You just want it to go right into starting to print. And one practice to see how everything is going to move would be to hold this out of the way for the homing sequence. Auto home. And you can see like how this is all going to move. And then we're going to set the Z-axis offset. Right? Move axis, Z-axis. And we're going to move it up. I'm going to try 0.7. And you're going to see right away if it's going to stretch and distort the image as it's moving. So we're going to go with that. And then we're going to go back to set our offset. And now everything's going to operate off of that offset. And I think we are ready to go to run our program. In this case, it's going to be the Bible Belt Outdoors logo that we're going to print on this shirt. Well, let's do this, see what happens. Work. So you can see how it's stretching a little bit, so you might have to so we're going to stop it. We're a little bit high. We're going to go back to auto home. Go. I'm going to go back up to 1 millimeter. Alright, we can see that it is printing at a little bit higher rate or a higher height. Everything seems to be out of the way for the print. One thing to note that for this file, and the reason I was able to bring a file like this and a logo in fairly easy, in a lot of cases people are trying to transfer the file over to a DXF and then into their slicer. And with the Cura software, you can take an actual PNG file, or a PNG file is what I call it, a PNG file directly into Cura, and it will process that image into a format that it can use, and with some settings you can choose the layer height, and I just picked a 0.2 layer height, which is a single layer, and you can also then adjust the size of the logo to fit the bed. So that was one thing that originally I was trying to convert the file over to a DXF and then eventually get it into Cura, but Cura can bring it directly in with a PNG file. So far, print looks pretty good. T-shirt's stretching just a little bit, so the image might be just a little bit distorted in some areas, but so far pretty happy. We're just finishing up the logo here. I would say it turned out pretty well. Alright, I'm pretty happy with the detail of it, and it's fairly flat. It's like a vinyl pressed on, heated on graphic or logo or wording that you would have on a t-shirt. Pull this off here and see what we've got. Yeah. Pretty flexible. I would say we'll get a couple uses out of that, and we'll test it through the washer and see how many washes we get. It's not peeling off. All right.